True Story Media.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels. On everything from lamps to ceiling fans. Even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes. Now available in... Ooh, crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox. Clean feels good.
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
This podcast contains adult themes and language, and some of the things that we discuss may be disturbing to some listeners. In this podcast, we discuss sexual assault, torture, race, and murder. Listener discretion is advised. Please take care of yourself.
Welcome to Fruitloops, Buiti Binafi, and Bienvenidos Bitches. Thank you so much for listening. Fruitloops is a true crime, history, and comedy podcast that delves into the often overlooked stories of serial killers of color and, more importantly, the victims. We take deep dives into the lives and crimes of these killers worldwide, while also examining the history, culture, and social factors that may have influenced their actions. And the reason that we cover these crimes is because they often go unnoticed by the public. And why is that? Because in the simplest of terms, the news is racist. Allegedly.
And we are Wendy and Beth. She's Wendy, a Black Latinx woman, and I'm Beth, and I just happen to be white. That's just a little piece of who we are. Another piece is that although we are both fascinated by true crime, really fascinated by true crime, and we know a lot about it, keep in mind that we are not journalists, investigators, or psychologists, and the opinions expressed in this podcast are just that, our opinions.
Who are we talking about today, friend?
Well, this is Fruitloops episode 264. About José Luis Calva Zepeda, a.k.a. the Cannibal of Guerrero, a.k.a. the Cannibal Poet, a Mexican writer whose apartment became the center of a shocking 2007 murder investigation when police discovered the dismembered remains of his girlfriend, along with signs suggesting he may have cooked parts of her body.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And this story was difficult to research, not so much. I mean, it's very disturbing, but that's not why it was difficult. It was difficult because there weren't a lot of articles in English. And so I don't speak Spanish. I know you do, but I don't. And so I had to do a lot of Google translating, and the stories were kind of confusing, and sometimes they contradicted each other. So I had to dig and dig and dig.
Oh, wow.
Please forgive us if we got some things wrong, but we tried really hard to get it right.
Yes, please forgive us. I was going to say, this is one of those times where I'm grateful at pointing out the yin and yang, because I did a lot of research on this case, but all of my sources were in Spanish.
Right.
So we'll fill in the blanks, but also... Yeah, forgive us. Forgive us.
And also my pronunciation, which I know I'll get wrong. So forgive me for that as well. I'll try.
Yes.
I will try.
Yes, I think the trying is the important part. It's when you just say, let me just call you.
I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Let me just call you John. Yeah, exactly. A for effort. Okay, well, before we get into it, how you doing?
I'm okay, getting ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
And this episode should drop on Thanksgiving Day. So happy
Ooh.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Oh, gobble, gobble.
Yeah. What are you doing for the holiday, Wendy?
You're not going to say what you're doing?
I will say what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm going to the neighbor's house.
Oh, tight.
My neighbor's gay couple, they always have a fabulous spread. So I'm going to their house for Thanksgiving with my daughter and my grandson and possibly my son too. I don't know. I invited him, but I don't know if he's going to go.
I love that. And so you don't have to cook or clean.
Yeah. I do have to bring rolls because that's my designated. That's what I bring every time because they like my rolls. So I make rolls and bring those.
Okay. I see you over there, Chef Boyar Beth. Well, I am also getting ready for the holidays. I guess apparently I'm hosting, but
Whoops.
my
Well, shit.
Yeah. I hosted maybe 13 years ago.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was so horrific of an experience. The bird didn't get cooked. It was like blood when we cut it open.
Oh,
my parents' house burned down.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And my mom texted me about it.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so it was just like,
that doesn't sound good at all.
Never, ever, 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 ever hosting Thanksgiving again. But we feel really blessed. And so it was kind of just like, if you can come, just come. I'm not cooking anything. If you want to bring something, great, bring it. We are going to eat off paper plates and drink out of red Solo cups. And we'll probably just go pick things up that you can just put in the microwave or the oven. Yeah. And that has to be okay with you.
Grocery stores do whole dinners.
Yeah. And I've discovered that as well. And me and Old Whitey, that's how we've gotten down ever since that disastrous first Thanksgiving we hosted. The house isn't even, spick and span isn't even in the cards. It will be halfway decent, but not like spick and span. It's just minimal effort for maximum joy and gratitude, which is what the day is all about. Yeah. Am I right?
Yep.
So happy Thanksgiving, happy Friendsgiving, happy to all of the givings, whatever you're celebrating. And with that, let's take a quick break and get into the story when we come back.
Sounds good.
Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo. There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do? I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault, a new series streaming now only on Peacock.
This episode is brought to you by Blink. Blink Friday starts now with up to 65% off Blink Smart Security. Check on your pets all season long with new Blink Mini 2K Plus cameras. See your gifts arrive in head-to-toe view with Blink Video Doorbell. Ready to use right out of the box. Just unwrap Blink and go. From pet parents to jet setters to busy families, Blink Friday deals have your holidays covered. Shop now at Amazon.com/Blink.
Okay, we're back. Remind us, Beth, who is our subject today?
Our subject today is José Luis Calva Zepeda, a.k.a. the Cannibal of Guerrero, a.k.a. the Cannibal Poet, a Mexican man who murdered at least 2 women, probably 3, maybe even more. And yeah, he also indulged in some cannibalism.
All right. Well, let us move on to the love and light portion of our program where we say rest and power to the victims whose lives were cut too short, and love and light to their loved ones and communities left in the wake of this crime. The victims' names are Veronica Consuelo Martinez Casarrubia, who was 34, a woman known as La Jarocha, age unknown, and Alejandra Galeana Garavito was 32. So now let's get into the setting and the early life of Zepeda.
All right, so the setting is Mexico City, which lies on the ashes of the ancient city of Tenochtitlan, which was founded by the Mexica people around 1325 CE. Tenochtitlan was located on an island in Lake Texcoco and became the capital of their empire.
Though the Mexica are often referred to as the Aztecs, this label is a later, broader term that the Mexica themselves never used. Imagine that. Even so, Aztec remains the most common, if not entirely accurate, name for their civilization.
According to tradition, the Mexica founded Tenochtitlan after their god Huitzilopochtli instructed them to settle where they saw an eagle perched on a cactus devouring a snake. When they witnessed this very sight on an island in Lake Texcoco, they took it as a divine sign and established their city there.
What a rad sign. Like, yes. Yes.
This is it.
I mean, can you imagine? Yes. It just sounds divine. So anyway, Tenochtitlan soon grew into a spectacular metropolis, the political, economic, and religious heart of the Aztec Empire. Ingenious engineering allowed an island settlement to flourish. 3 great stone causeways link the city to the mainland, each with removable bridges for defense, while a network of canals carried people and goods by canoe.
The Mexica also built sophisticated waterworks, including aqueducts from the springs at Chapultepec that provided fresh drinking water, and a massive levee that helped control flooding and kept brackish lake water at bay. And brackish water is salty water. To feed a population that reached roughly 200,000 people. Wow.
That's
they created
insane.
Highly productive artificial floating gardens called chinampas, which yielded crops throughout the year.
I just love how ingenious this was.
Yeah, how modern, really.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing. So laid out on a precise grid, Tenochtitlan featured an impressive ceremonial center with Templo Mayor, palaces, schools, and administrative buildings. Its great marketplace, Tlatelolco, drew tons of thousands of people daily and offered everything from produce to fine luxury goods.
Within the empire's religious life, the Mexica also practiced ritual cannibalism, in which human flesh was consumed as part of sacred ceremonies tied to human sacrifice. And this was to please the gods for good harvests so that their people could continue on.
Yeah, not like a ritual intended to cause harm or hurt people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they
or
were
as a spectacle.
No, it was a religious thing.
Right.
And victims, usually war captives or individuals purchased for the rites, they could buy people to do this, were treated with honor and adorned to resemble deities.
Well, history is complicated. I still think this is really interesting stuff. So the Mexica believed the person underwent a spiritual transformation before being sacrificed and consumed. Cannibalistic rites were primarily reserved for the emperor, nobles, and elite warriors, though participants could also include merchants, distinguished soldiers, and the families of those who provided the sacrificial victim.
Wow. That just hit me. Like, yeah, the families could eat their family member.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah, I was like, what is
What's
it,
the
Beth?
big deal?
What is it, girl?
What is the big deal?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I that just hit me too. Okay.
When the Spanish arrived in the early 16th century, they were struck by the city's cleanliness and advanced sanitation system. As you've mentioned before, the indigenous people were very clean, and
very clean.
The Spanish were shocked.
Well, and the Spanish also stunk to high heaven. So they were like lighting all these incense, like, wash your asses, guys. And basically,
I don't know about the Spanish in particular, but I know that Europeans believed that it was unhealthy to bathe very often. So
can you imagine a whole community of people
stinky
less
butts.
interested, yes, in bathing? Yeah, so indigenous people taught Europeans how to bathe. It's a fact. Yeah.
So in 1521, after months of siege by Hernán Cortés and his indigenous allies, and already devastated by smallpox, the Mexica were defeated. Much of Tenochtitlan was destroyed during the assault or deliberately demolished afterwards.
In the aftermath, Cortés ordered the construction of a new colonial capital atop the ruins, laying the foundations of modern Mexico City. The Spanish soon began draining Lake Texcoco to accommodate expansion, and over time the lake disappeared entirely, leaving most of present-day Mexico City built across its former basin. Wow.
Yeah. In 1821, after decades of war, Mexico declared its independence from Spain, and Mexico City became the capital of the new sovereign nation. The 19th century was marked by significant political instability, including occupation by U.S. forces during the Mexican-American War in 1847, and a brief period as an imperial capital under Emperor Maximilian I during the French intervention between 1864 and 1867.
Toward the end of the century, under the long rule of Porfirio Diaz, the city underwent a major modernization drive inspired by European urban planning. The Mexican Revolution between 1910 and 1920 brought political upheaval, but did not result in the physical destruction seen in other parts of the country.
In the 20th century, Mexico City underwent explosive population growth, driven by rural migration and its development as the nation's economic and cultural hub. The city experienced significant modernization, infrastructure expansion, and a shift from a 500,000-person city at the start of the century to a metropolis of over 20 million by the year 2000.
Wow, that's incredible.
And I've heard that it's a really good city to visit.
Yeah, I've heard the same. And I was surprised because when I first went to Mexico City, I was maybe like 13.
Oh,
and
wow.
People were like, "Are you scared? You know, it's the murder capital of the world." So I was nervous.
Right.
But I didn't feel that at all. I was just blown away by the nice people and the architecture. It was, I was like, this is not what people said it was going to be at all.
I've heard that it's a really lovely city.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. José Luis Calva Zepeda was born in Mexico City on June 20th, 1969. After his father's death, when José was just 2 years old, his mother, Elia Calva, was left to raise 6 children on her own. Overwhelmed by this responsibility, she turned to alcohol.
Elia Calva was reportedly a domineering woman who subjected her children to physical and emotional abuse, and her drinking only intensified her aggression and volatility. She also often forced her children to accept her romantic partners as father figures, insisting that they call them dad.
I don't know how they were supposed to feel about that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No. Reportedly, when he was just 7 years old, José was raped by a boy named Tirso, the 16-year-old friend of his older brother. After this incident, according to José, when Tirso returned to the house, he ran away, choosing to wander the streets rather than be near him. He later told his family what happened, but they didn't believe him, dismissing him as crazy. One source said his mom beat him that day and made him sleep on the porch.
Oh, I read that story, but it was because he dropped a porcelain figure or dish or something like that.
Okay.
It wasn't related, but
Never
yeah,
mind.
there were several different stories about his abuse. Another one where he did something and his mom broke his toy, and then he worked to buy a new toy, and then she smashed that one too. So Not good stuff.
Yeah. Woo, yes. Okay, great. Thank you for reminding me of those horrific examples.
You're welcome.
Okay.
At the age of 12, he was kicked out of the house. To survive, he began working as a car watcher and a shoe shiner. And I didn't know what a car watcher was. So I looked it up. And in Mexico, people who unofficially watch over or assist with parking cars in exchange for a small tip are known as franeleros. Is that right?
Yeah, looks right.
They typically offer their unsolicited help by guiding drivers to available spots and keeping an eye on the vehicles, expecting a tip in return.
Look, you gotta hustle
Gotta make that
wherever
money.
you can. Yeah,
gotta get that bag.
Yeah, you do. But for a child, though, I mean,
it sucks.
It's just a creative way to hustle. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and it sounds like that's what he did. So this life on the streets became his reality. Some neighbors occasionally let him stay in a small rooftop room of the same building where his family lived. Reportedly, he used that spot to spy on his mother and 5 siblings.
That would also suck.
Yeah.
And without money or family support, he began drinking heavily as well. And he dropped out of school, but later finished high school through an open enrollment program. He also began working as a clown, a job he got through his brother-in-law, who was working as a magician at the time.
Wow.
So some theatrics.
There's another serial killer, a white one.
Oh, yeah. John Wayne
also
Gacy.
A clown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, during this period, Calva Zepeda developed an intense fascination with writing and immersed himself in books, screenplays, and poetry. He liked to see himself as a cultured man and devoted much of his time to creating stories, dabbling in horror novels, plays, and even a few musicals.
He wrote and acted in short theater pieces and claimed to have produced an enormous body of work. Around 800 poems and children's stories, 20 plays, and 100 songs. Proud of his creations, he dreamed of turning his passion for writing into a real career.
To share his work, he would staple together small booklets of his poems and stories, making homemade books that he handed out to people on the street, hoping that one might reach someone influential.
He also sold his poetry in Mexico City's informal markets. Though his efforts never led to any real success, he often boasted to people about his talent, claiming to be a famous author, one of the best in the world.
Wow.
Look at me.
I'm
one of the best.
I am the best writer in the world.
In the world.
So, yes, the world is very big. And it's said that Calva Zepeda could really turn on the charm when he wanted to, especially with women. Some real fuckboy shit. Those who knew him described him as a charismatic but compulsive liar, a flamboyant figure who often passed himself off as a journalist, an actor, and even a television personality.
Where can I watch?
And this is in the 2000s, so there is internet. But
was there streaming then? I can't remember when. I think that was later. Yeah.
I think
so. You'd have to catch it.
Mailing DVDs.
To and
fro from Netflix back then.
Yes, back in the day.
Oh my God, technology. So now let's get into the timeline.
Okay.
Hit it, Beth.
In 1996, Calva Zepeda met a woman named Aida, who became his wife and with whom he had 2 daughters. When he was 33, they split up. Some sources said they divorced, others said they didn't, but in any case, they did split up. And in 2001, Aida moved to the United States with their daughters.
It was during this time that Calva Zepeda reconnected with his mother and moved in with her. He claimed that he did everything he could to please her, but he sank into a deep depression, which he tried to numb with drugs and alcohol.
To support himself, he worked as a taxi driver, and in the course of this work, he met a man named Juan Monroy Perez, identified in various sources as either Juan Pablo or Juan Carlos, but in any case, Juan Monroy Perez.
Okay.
The two were reportedly romantically involved, though Calva Zepeda later denied it. But both men were using drugs heavily, and apparently, from what people said, their relationship centered largely on substance use and sex, while Calva Zepeda continued pursuing relationships with women.
I think that Juan Monroy Perez is also like a subject in some of his writings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And referred to in a romantic way.
Okay.
That was my understanding from several
Yeah,
of the podcasts
it seemed
that I
like
listened
they
to.
really did have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Calva Zepeda denied it, but if he was writing about him in a romantic way, then that tips it more towards yes, they probably did have a romantic relationship.
Yeah, and my understanding is he wasn't the only man that he had a relationship with.
Oh, okay.
That is my understanding from the information I got. But he denies that. So anyway, Perez worked with a woman named Veronica Consuela Martinez Casarrubia, 34 years old. She was a single mother. She had 3 kids, and she worked as a pharmacy clerk. Calva Zepeda and Veronica began a romantic relationship.
Judith Casarrubia, Veronica's mother, did not like him and said that she could not stomach his smug personality and endless braggadocio.
I love a mother-in-law who doesn't like you.
He also beat Veronica, and he once locked her in the house that they shared. And it was like some kind of a situation where he kept her in the house. She couldn't get out. They called it a kidnapping, but I was translating from Spanish, so I don't know exactly what they meant by that, but he wouldn't let her out.
Yeah.
And Veronica eventually left him.
Yeah. The word kidnap in Spanish is secuestrar. And so it looks like sequester. I wonder if whatever.
Oh,
so anyway, he kidnapped her.
He was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he wouldn't let her out. We know from sources that he was physically violent, but intimate partner violence also includes restricting your movements, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
On April 24th, 2004, Veronica went missing. Veronica's mother told the police that her daughter had been dating José Luis Calva Zepeda, a man she did not trust, but nothing came of it. And it was around this time that Perez also disappeared, losing touch with family and friends.
On April 30th, a female body was found in a vacant lot in Chimalhuacan, a city located just outside the northeast border of Mexico City and part of the greater Mexico City urban area. The remains were dismembered and packaged inside plastic bags, then placed in 2 large cardboard boxes. The head had been removed. The victim was not identified for a little over a year later, and it was Veronica Martinez Casarrubia.
So Veronica's mom sounded the alarm to authorities. Nothing came of it.
Right.
This woman went missing for a year and wasn't identified for a year. and I was going to wait until my takes, but I feel like a culture corner about femicide in Mexico is warranted. Just the fact that it has been an issue in Mexico for decades, and it's, gender-based violence, and it's been an issue since about the 90s. That's when maybe the news reported on it a little bit. Yeah.
Probably had been happening before that too.
Right. Ciudad Juarez is the city that we often hear about it occurring in, but it happens all over the country of Mexico, and it has ties and connections with organized crime, and it is a big crisis. It's a big deal. I mean, I was listening to a podcast, and there are like mass graves of women in some parts. So it's a really big problem, but a lot of the cases, nobody gets convicted. And so I just wanted to mention that is a very big issue. So in August of 2006, Calva Zepeda met Lidia Sanchez Valdez, a 23-year-old English teacher. He began courting her and writing her poems. He was 37 years old. His mother liked her very much and treated her like a daughter. But since they both worked in Ecatepec, a municipality north of Mexico City, the couple moved into Lydia's parents' home there, where they lived for about 4 months.
According to Lydia, Calva Zepeda had a strong fascination with witchcraft and often did strange rituals involving herbs and cow tongues. He claimed to be casting spells or placing curses, particularly on people he believed had wronged him, like his ex-wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Lydia said it made her uncomfortable how fixated and vengeful he could be toward others. She also described him as having an obsessive need for cleanliness, constantly washing his hands and body, and insisting on cleaning his genitals both before and after sex.
In public, he showered her with affection. In private, Calva Zepeda was abusive and extremely jealous and controlling. He also forced her to watch pornographic and bestiality films and confided in her that his favorite film was Quills, based on the life of the Marquis de Sade.
I'm not familiar with Marquis de Sade. I'm just assuming bad person.
Well, his last name Sade is where the word sadism comes from. He was a sadist. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. So whenever she tried to break up with him, he would threaten to kill himself, turning every argument into emotional blackmail. Lydia eventually did end the relationship, and Calva Zepeda reacted aggressively, got drunk, then cut his own wrists, and jumped from the balcony of her parents' house. He survived.
After they broke up, Calva Zepeda moved into an apartment on Mosqueta Street, located in the Colonial Guerrero neighborhood in the heart of the city, just blocks from Plaza Garibaldi, the city's famed hub for mariachi music, where bands perform throughout the day and night.
A sex worker known as La Jarocha visited him there multiple times. Her real name has never been revealed. Her nickname, La Jarocha, is a term used for a woman from Veracruz. She was also occasionally called La Costeña, meaning the woman from the coast. And Veracruz is on the east coast of Mexico and has a big Black population.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
So I'm guessing this lady's from Veracruz.
That's what it sounds like.
And on April 9th, 2007, in a vacant lot in the Nanoalco Tlatelolco neighborhood of the Cuauhtemoc borough in Mexico City, law enforcement officials found the dismembered body of a young woman inside of a suitcase. It was La Jarocha.
Sometime later, Calva Zepeda began dating Alejandra Galeana Garavito, a 32-year-old single mother of two who worked as a pharmacy clerk. She was fair-skinned, and her family affectionately called her Blondie or Ale. The two first met while Calva Zepeda was handing out his homemade poetry booklets on the street.
They struck up a conversation, and Alejandra found him charming. He came across as sweet, and deeply passionate about his art, and she was genuinely impressed by his poetry. His words and confidence captivated her, drawing her into his orbit.
I mean, can't you see, though? I mean, how just captivating an artist, a man who writes poetry?
Yeah.
It sounds unreal.
Yeah.
And yeah, captivating is a great word. So one Sunday afternoon, Alejandra brought Calva Zepeda home to meet her family over lunch. Soledad Garavito Fernandez, Alejandra's mother, thought her daughter's new boyfriend was creepy, overly eager to impress, yet full of self-importance. According to Soledad, quote, everything was me, unquote.
He claimed to be a poet, a playwright, a director, and a singer, and said he earned $200 a day selling his written works. But from the quality of his clothing, Soledad could tell that it wasn't true. Yeah.
Sir, you know there's something wrong when
he's misrepresenting himself.
Is doing that.
Right.
But as time went on, Calva Zepeda's mask began to slip, and Alejandra started to realize that he was a jealous, controlling liar. Alejandra then requested a transfer from the pharmacy near Calva Zepeda's apartment in the city center to another drugstore closer to her parents' home in a northern neighborhood.
Calva Zepeda was not happy about that. In the days leading up to her disappearance, he repeatedly called Alejandra, threatening to take his own life if she ended their relationship.
Isn't that classic kind of narcissist behavior?
Yeah. Manipulative.
Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So anyway, on the morning of Friday, October 5th, 2007, Alejandra left her 2 children with her mother before going to work at the pharmacy. However, she first went to Calva Zepeda's apartment. It has been surmised that she went there to break up with him for good.
Hours passed and Alejandra didn't show up for work. Her mother tried to contact her by phone repeatedly, as did her boss and her siblings. They searched for her in several hospitals and police stations, but they couldn't find her.
Overcome with anguish, her family filed a missing persons report with the authorities. Her mother, Soledad, felt that Calva Zepeda was behind Alejandra's disappearance, thinking at the time that maybe he drugged her or had her tied up somewhere in order to stop her from leaving.
Yeah.
Shout out to that mom for,
recognizing
she didn't have a good feeling.
Right.
So now let's get into the investigation and the arrest. What, Beth?
When authorities received the report about Alejandra's disappearance, investigators quickly focused on Calva Zepeda. Neighbors in the Guerrero neighborhood reported that they had seen him and a young woman resembling Alejandra enter his apartment building on the afternoon of her disappearance.
Police came to his apartment on October 8th. Calva Zepeda answered casually. However, as soon as the officers stepped inside, he bolted towards the balcony, threw open the door, and began climbing down the 4-story building.
Yikes.
Whoa, he grabbed onto anything he could. Like Spider-Man, awnings, railings, and ledges to slow his descent. I didn't see that coming.
About halfway down, his luck gave out. His grip slipped, and during the fall, he struck his head on the way down. Dazed and bleeding, he managed to stagger upright and stumble onto the sidewalk, swaying with dizziness before collapsing a moment later.
Some accounts claim he was hit by a passing car as he ran. A paramedic reported that a bystander insisted this was the case, but when asked directly, Calva Zepeda said he had only fallen, and his injuries did not match those typically caused by a vehicle impact.
In any event, police reached him within seconds. He was too weak to resist, so no force was necessary. Officers called for an ambulance, and as the paramedics tended to him, the only thing Calva Zepeda asked for was his briefcase filled with his writings.
Inside Calva Zepeda's apartment, police encountered a scene that could have been taken straight out of a horror film. Officers found the body of Alejandra, or what was left of it, on the floor of the bedroom closet.
She was missing her right forearm and lower part of her right leg. Those missing limbs were later found in the refrigerator, deboned, and human bones were stuffed into a cereal box. On a table, they found 2 medium-sized kitchen knives and a box cutter, all stained with blood.
On another table sat a place setting with a plate of fried meat with additional pieces of flesh and fat found in a frying pan on the stove. Nearby, half a lemon suggested that Calva may have seasoned the flesh before eating it.
Investigators also found several stapled pamphlets, novels, and poetry collections authored by Calva Zepeda. But the one that caught their attention the most was an unfinished novel titled Cannibal Instincts. The Sydney Morning Herald reported that the book, quote, has a storyline much like the cannibal thriller film Silence of the Lambs, but with a Mexican angle, unquote.
It spoke of topics such as coprophagia, eating shit, sadomasochism. Hey, there's something, a lid
for everyone,
for every pot. Sadomasochism, sex, and cannibalism, and included the words, quote, when intrigues arise, when memories return, when passion turns to anger, when revenge becomes obsession, the cannibalistic instincts emerge, unquote.
Featured on its cover was a masked image of Hannibal Lecter, the infamous killer from The Silence of the Lambs, but it was modified to resemble Calva Zepeda's face. His video collection included Silence of the Lambs, the sequel Hannibal, and a French film called Cannibal Blood.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, in anybody else's home, this would just
be
totally normal. He's a guy that likes films.
Right.
José Luis Calva Zepeda, 38, was arrested on suspicion of homicide and admitted to Soco Hospital for neurological treatment, where he recovered without a single visit from his mother or any of his 5 siblings.
The discovery also led to him being investigated in connection with other murders. Prosecutors said that they had evidence linking him to the murders of La Jarocha and Veronica Consuela Martinez Casarubia. All of the victims had been strangled to death.
After his arrest, Calva Zepeda claimed to struggle with addictions to alcohol and cocaine, and he was later diagnosed with several mental health disorders, including bipolar disorder. Early psychological evaluations described him as a potential psychopath with low frustration tolerance and deep-seated social resentment.
Although he first attempted to feign insanity, he eventually confessed. Calva Zepeda claimed Alejandra's death had been accidental. According to him, the two were in the middle of a violent drug and alcohol-fueled argument on October 5th when he choked her.
It's almost like he had to add that substances were involved to take away any liability
to excuse
from him.
his behavior. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He said the argument began because he wanted to end the relationship, which enraged Alejandra. She allegedly, this is according to him, she allegedly began hitting him, prompting him to grab her from behind to restrain her. And because of his strength, he claimed she fainted. And when he checked her for a pulse, he realized she was dead.
That's not how strangling happens.
Right. Yeah. What a story he
That's
concocted.
Bullshit. Yeah. But he's so strong.
Right. Right. Yeah. I guess it's just like it defies logic and it's absurd.
Yes. He did admit to dismembering her body afterward, but denied any cannibalism. And he insisted that he actually, what he was doing was, the thing of it is he was planning to dispose of her remains gradually by cooking small pieces and then feeding them to stray dogs in the neighborhood.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Sir. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, he could just cut up the meat and give it to him. He wouldn't have to cook it.
You know what? It's just interesting what he will lie about, clearly.
Yeah.
And what he is admitting fully.
Yeah.
This is bonkers.
Yeah.
So he also claimed that Juan Monroy Perez helped him dismember the bodies of the women. If you recall, Perez had disappeared around the same time that Veronica had. People speculated that Calva Zepeda had murdered him too. And that was my impression as well.
Right, but no. He did not murder him. He was located and
Oh.
arrested on October 20th.
Oh.
He did confess to helping Calva Zepeda dismember Veronica Casarubia after she was murdered by Calva Zepeda. He was not, he said, involved in the murder. And perhaps he disappeared because he was in hiding after that happened. I mean, I'd be freaking out too.
Yeah.
But we don't really know.
Sure. Okay.
Tis the season for all your holiday favorites, like A Very Jonas Christmas Movie and Home Alone on Disney+.
Did I burn down the joint? I don't think so.
Then Hulu has National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
We're all in for a very big Christmas treat.
All of these and more streaming this holiday season. And right now, save big with our special Black Friday offer. Bundle Disney Plus and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 1 year. Savings compared to current regular monthly price. Ends 12/1. Offer for ad-supported Disney Plus Hulu bundle only. Then $12.99 a month or then current regular monthly price. 18 plus terms apply.
On October 23rd, Calva Zepeda was incarcerated at the Reclusorio Oriente prison, a crowded Mexico City prison with 10,000 inmates. I'm guessing there's not supposed to be that many inmates.
Yeah,
there.
that's a
I'm
lot.
guessing it's overcrowded.
Way overcrowded, yeah.
Yeah. And so on October 30th, he was formally charged with aggravated homicide and desecration of corpses.
He admitted to strangling Veronica and Alejandra, dismembering their bodies and placing them in plastic bags. But he denied that he practiced cannibalism, claiming the whole thing was a big fabrication by the tabloid press, which had dubbed him the Cannibal Poet.
Uh-huh. But forensic investigations confirmed that the pieces of fried meat found in a pan on the stove in his apartment belonged to the body of Alejandra Galeana, as did the bloodstains found in the bathroom and on the knives. So now let's get into the trial. Hit it, Beth.
Well, there was no trial, because on December 11th, 2007, just a few months after going to prison, Calva Zepeda was found dead in his jail cell in the Reclusorio Oriente. The media reported that he had hung himself with a belt and his death was ruled a suicide.
This ruling didn't sit well with his sister, however. She believed that her brother was murdered in his cell, as did other relatives of Calva Zepeda. They maintained that he was targeted by other inmates who were trying to extort money from him.
The corrections department denied he had been threatened or beaten by other inmates, and according to prison officials, Calva Zepeda had reinforced his locked cell door with wire and shoelaces tied from the inside, so he could not have been murdered. That's what they said.
Interesting. The lawyer who was representing Calva Zepeda didn't believe it was a case of suicide either. He pointed out that Calva Zepeda was working on a book and was very enthused about it, saying, quote, "That was sort of what gave him a reason to live," unquote.
An expert from the National Institute of Criminal Sciences agreed, saying that his death does not match the behavior of a serial killer. But prison psychologists claimed that Zepeda's bipolar disorder caused him to have episodes of guilt and regret that led him to take his own life.
Interesting. Well, they're the experts. Soledad Garavito, the mother of Alejandra, described his death as divine retribution. Quote, "I don't wish death on anybody, but I feel this was divine justice. I do not take pleasure in this man's death, but I have seen there is a God and that he is with me," unquote.
Following his death, a couple of letters he wrote to his mother were revealed and published by the news. Quote, "Today, here, behind these bars that imprison me, along with the silence of these cold and long corridors, I tell you with my heart in my hands, don't leave me, and above all, forgive me, Mom."
Wow. I don't know what happened in my life, but I lost myself. I lost everything I had and everything I would have had. Without realizing it, I surrounded myself with strange people who only came to hurt me more than I already was. Unquote. Wow.
What does that even mean?
Made
I surrounded
himself
myself
the victim.
Yeah. Exactly.
After murdering people. That is wow.
Pretty fucked up.
Yeah. So, Beth, where are they now?
Well, it's been reported that investigators were able to connect José Luis Calva Zepeda to 4 confirmed murders, but we have only been able to find information about 3. However, authorities believe he may have had as many as 8 victims total. It is unclear from the sources that we found what happened to Juan Monroy Perez.
That's it for the story, y'all.
Yep.
We are going to talk about what we think about the case, our thoughts, and you know where to find us. Let us know what you think as well. Beth, hit it.
So, as per usual, a terrible childhood had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like he had some narcissism. My understanding is that people with narcissistic traits grew up without consistent emotional support. So that he checks that box. And then they develop an outer shell of emotional armor to make them feel better about themselves. He checks that box. But inside is a fragile core of insecurity. And I think he checks that box as well. With all the suicide threats and all that.
Right.
Yeah. They often need to feel special or superior, which may lead them to exaggerate achievements or believe rules don't apply to them. So
well, he was the best writer in the world, right?
Right. In the world.
In the world. So
in the world.
Congratulations.
So yeah, checks that box as well. Something that struck out to me was one of Lydia's comments about how uncomfortable it made her that he was so fixated and vengeful towards others. Like he thought about it a lot.
Yeah.
He would cast spells and things like that. And when we were talking about the history of Mexico and ritual cannibalism, that's something that actually shows up in a lot of cultures. It's usually related to warfare and basically consuming one's enemy, absorbing their energy and taking control of them. And I wonder if it's something like this that motivated Calva Zepeda. That it wasn't enough to just eliminate the women who rejected him. He wanted to control them and consume them. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, let's turn the lights off, unplug all the tech. What?
Yeah.
Beth, you did it again. I have goosebumps. Oh my God. Wow.
So
happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
y'all.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
What? Okay, I
Absorb
wrote some
that
stuff.
turkey's energy.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Yeah, childhood, violent mom, absent father. I'm fascinated by the artistic aspect of this.
I don't, it baffles me sometimes when I hear about people like this being artists, because you always think about artists as being like really sensitive and emotional and stuff like that. And like really being able to tune into emotions. And I feel like a person like this is more like attuned with themselves, that they're just absorbed with themselves. And so it always surprises me that they can be artists as well.
Okay, so you're like an artist. You're an artist's artist, if that makes sense.
I suppose so, yeah.
I am surprised because I think the opposite would be more true. Yeah, I'm surprised that more artists aren't serial killers. I feel weird. I only say this as somebody who's a creative spirit and I consider myself an artist in some respects.
Mediums, yeah.
Yes. And just from what I know about people who tend to be creative is your spirit can come with some trouble.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily want to go and kill people.
No,
or maybe you do. I don't know.
No. But in the Venn diagram, oh my God, this feels so... Okay, I realize this is also absurd, but come with me on this journey.
Okay.
In the Venn diagram of artists and the Venn diagram of serial killers, there is, like, again, the troubled, tortured soul. And you can go either way, to somebody who expresses yourself in creative ways that don't harm people but make people think and are beautiful, or to serial killing. And I also thought there was something poetic about the murdering people and the consuming of it.
Yeah.
The consumption aspect of it, you know, the life and death, and also love and death, the dichotomy and how poetic just those two things together are, I think.
Right.
And boy, if I go too far down the art rabbit hole on this one, we'll never leave. So I just want you to know, I thought about it a lot when researching this case. I also feel obviously empathy for the child who had to live through really awful stuff.
Yeah.
Like his mom, we talked about, made him sleep on the porch.
Yeah.
This lady who was supposed to protect him. And he was sexually assaulted, raped as a child.
Kicked out at the age of 12.
Yeah. And I just, people that we've talked about on this show are serial killers who have awful mothers. Sometimes we, it seems obvious, they hate women. That's why all the victims were women. But I don't think he just hated women. I think he hated himself.
Yeah.
And that
is the narcissism.
Yes. Also, I think that part of his narcissism was being afraid of people realizing that he really was a loser. But also, I think people finding out the truth that he may have been queer.
Right.
The shame with that. And that also, if anybody looked too close at his art, they might not like it.
Yeah.
Somebody might find out that he really wasn't good
really
enough.
Sucks.
Yeah. Wasn't good enough. The escape aspects of his behavior. There was, that he was drinking a lot and he was doing drugs, but also the clown work, like performance aspect.
He did like that, and he acted as well.
Yes. So a little, some escapism. That's what sort of got me thinking on that. Maybe he's so troubled that he doesn't like himself at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was talented, but he certainly was prolific. And something would have taken at some point if he had just,
kept
maybe
at it and not murdered people.
And not harmed people. Yeah. Because it's very, because what I'm telling you, in the Venn diagram, people turn their pain into something beautiful or helpful.
True.
And I also think that he was in pain. Like those awful things that happened to him in his childhood were unhealed and could have been, given how creative he was. I think he had already found his thing. I'm so disappointed that so many people were harmed by this dude's ego being so big.
Yeah.
And
or so fragile.
Yeah, and so fragile. Let's see, controlling somebody's body, whether it lives, whether it dies, and consuming it. There's a whole world of kink out there. No kink shaming here, but it's best served when there are consenting adults participating.
Yeah.
And so there was some talk of like sex toys and that he maybe was a sadist. And I think there's also room for that as well without hurting people.
Yeah.
Or causing suffering, that kind of thing. And then I just kept thinking about how he could have been the next insert creative thing here, machismo and masculinity and violence, and how machismo it's generally described as toxic masculinity in Mexican and some Latin communities.
Right.
But I was Scott Galloway's been making the rounds a lot lately with his book about masculinity. It's not a bad thing. Like, if you think about it, there are aspects of masculinity that can be good, and it's certainly on a spectrum.
It's when it's toxic that it's not
bad,
good.
right? Yeah, like kindness, bravery, being nice to people around you, being responsible. That's good masculine shit. But this aggressive fuckboy behavior, no.
Not so
And the
good.
violence,
Yeah.
not so good. So I just wanted to bring that up because this guy was also quite machista in the most toxic and the most awful of ways. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And did you know that he had children? And so they're probably, still alive somewhere. And there's real people involved in this case. So I want to make sure we remember and not forget the victims in this case. And we hope they rest in power. And we send wishes of peace and healing to all the people who loved them and who were left in the wake of this case.
Yeah.
And that is all. All right, Beth, where can the people find us?
Our website is fruitloopspod.com, and we use Fruit Loops Pod for all of our social media. The footnotes for each episode can be found on our website. Plus, check it out for the different ways that you can support the show. You can also join us on Patreon, where we have hundreds of hours of bonus content. You can also support us by supporting our sponsors, or by giving us a 5-star review.
5 stars only, please.
Don't forget to subscribe.
That's right. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and episodes drop on Thursdays. So until next time, look alive, y'all. It's crazy out there. Thank goodness we're not doctors, because boy, it would be life or death, and that's not good. But if it's just a podcast, it's no big deal. I don't even remember what we were talking about. How did we get here? Okay. All right.
Let's do this thing.
All right, here we go. Oh, I love the word flourish. I love saying it, and I love the way it sounds, and I love reading it. Sorry, flourish.
And a massive levee that helped control flooding.
A levee or
jeez, let me read that again. Levee.
You're so fancy. I was just eating it up and I couldn't stop you. It was so beautiful. Levee.
Okay, so you're next.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm just waiting with bated breath. What happens next in the story?
What's next?
But also, forgive us. Forgive us.
And also my pronunciation, which I know I'll get wrong. So forgive me for that as well. I'll try.
Yes.
I will try. And oh my God. In the nanoalco tlatelolco.
Whoa. Maybe lay off.
Be here forever.
Lay off the gas. Lay off the gas a little bit. Take your time.
Tlatelolco.
It's okay. Take your time.
Tlatelolco, neighborhood of the wow.
That was the one I actually practiced before.
How do you say it? Cuauhtemoc borough in Mexico City.
My eyes are crossing. Tlatelolco. I also completely lost my place. Where are we?
Yeah. So from looking at it with, I forget what I'm trying to say. Looking at it with eyes in the future.
What do you call that? Hindsight?
Hindsight. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. From eyes in the future, you know.
Yes, no. And a DVD. It's a small disc. And you would insert it into a device and play films and shows on it. But
you did not have to rewind.
No.
So that was amazing.
Yes, it was unbelievable. How did they fit so much content on that flat disc?
Shiny disc.
How did they do that? Oh my God, technology.
So now it's your turn.
Is it?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Is it again?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
On April 24th.
Thank you. Hoping that one night it might reach someone influential.
One night.
Oh, I was like, one night. Just one night.
Just one night.
My dreams can come true. I don't know where I went with that.
Like that.
I really was like, Broadway, one night. Okay, here now. I just keep seeing
one night, my dreams will come.
Okay.